what is up? What is up? Let's go, man. Let's get straight into it. I'm Isaiah. I'm back with another video. Today I'm just gonna be talking about some tips and things that you have to do to find a mentor. I see a lot of people in the Facebook groups and a lot of my subscribers, they want a mentor. They want somebody to teach them how to do things. I got 3 mentors. All of them I have a super close relationship with. I'm friends with each and every one of them. They've taught me like majority of everything I know when it comes to real estate, especially when I started getting more advanced. Like the basic stuff of wholesaling, I learned on my own. But when it got down to like some advanced things, that's where my mentors really came in and completely changed the game for me. I got so much free game from them, thousands and thousands of dollars worth of knowledge from them, all for free. You just got to know how to find a mentor and how to pick the right one. So today in this video, I'm just going to be going over some tips and things that you have to do to find a mentor. Not just any mentor, but the right one for you and what you're doing. I'm gonna be relating a lot to wholesaling real estate because that's what I do, but really this is just across the board in anything you do. All right, so I'm gonna bring the board up here so y'all can see. All right, find a mentor. Number 1, you have to be consistently working, bro. The way I found every single one of my mentors is I was working. All 3 of my mentors and everybody else who gave me free game, I met them while working, period. One of them, I was cutting grass. Like, it doesn't matter what you're doing, just as long as you work, and that's how you network. And people see like you doing something, they're willing to help. But one of them, I was cutting grass for my neighborhood, and I saw that guy owned that property. He was like, "Hey, you'll cut my grass?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll cut your grass." And he was like, I was like, "You live there?" He's like, "No, I don't live here. This is one of my rental properties." Turns out he lives right next door to me, and he owns that house right there. So I was like, "Okay, you looking for more rental properties?" And that's how the conversation started, and that's how that's how our relationship started in real estate. I was cutting his grass. I was in the middle of cutting grass, and I was like, "You want me to cut your grass too?" Or he was like, "Can you cut my grass?" I'm like, "Sure." And once I just sparked up a conversation because I was in a mindset. I was really in a certain mind. It all comes down to mindset, bro. But I was in a hustle mentality, like always grinding. And so every person that I came across, I looked at it as like either a divine intervention or like there's a reason that this person is here talking to me right now. And I'm about to see what that reason is. So I questioned him. And so I was like, "Oh, you looking for more properties?" I was like, "I'm a wholesaler. I'm always finding deals." Like, "Yeah." Anyways, that's how we started that relationship. The other one I found while I was at a real estate meetup. For me, that was work, like always going to real estate meetups. And so that's where I found that mentor. He's a really good friend. And then my mentor that I always communicate with the most, right? So I have 3 mentors that'll teach me anything, anytime I have a question. But then like I have my main mentor he's really where I want to be at, like within the next 5 years. He's always hustling, always grinding. The other guys, they're very educated, but they're a little more passive when it comes to real estate. Like they have other jobs. One of them's retired, and then the other one has a day job. The mentor who I talk to the most, he's all in on real estate. Like that is his job. He's 24/7 real estate. I met him through cold calling. I was cold calling on Zillow. I was trying to buy one of his deals. It didn't work out. And I was like, "Well, look, I got a deal. You said you're buying." And then so I showed him one of my deals. And then that's how that relationship started. So in every case, I was always working. I was always in the middle of work. And that's how you find your mentor. You have to be grinding, bro. You have to be grinding. You have to always be working. You think that when you're working, you're cutting off everything else, like no time for anything else. No, I'm telling you, it's when you're doing the things that matter the most, that is when the most significant things happen to you. So while you're working, while you're grinding, I promise you, that is where you will come across your mentor. For me, for wholesalers, specifically when you're cold calling, looking at properties in person and going to real estate meetups, that I promise you, that is where you're gonna find your mentor. So the next one, you always have to be learning. and always have to be asking questions. Always learning, always asking questions. So you have to be in a mindset of I'm always learning. And because you're always learning, you're always asking questions, especially when you could tell that they're a little more experienced and a little more savvy at something than you are. Asking genuine questions of stuff that you don't understand, you don't know about. And what that does is it inflates their ego, it strokes their ego. That's really what you want to like reel that mentor in. You want to gauge who's willing to give you the free game. 9 times out of 10, you ask somebody a question, they're going to be excited to tell you something because it inflates people's ego. You're basically saying, hey, I think you know more than me about something. Could you tell me a little bit about that? You're smarter than me. In a certain way, it's like kind of doing that. And that's what you want to do when you come across your mentor. Because it's a mentor. You want to set this stage like, hey, I'm willing to learn. Can you teach me? And by asking questions, genuine questions that you genuinely want to know, it sets that stage, it sets that dynamic as they're the teacher, you're the learner, and you're willing to learn. You're willing to do whatever they say. So always ask questions. When you're always working and you see somebody, ask the right questions. Ask them, are you in this field? And 2, okay, well, I was wondering about like, what about this, A, B, and C? Some question that you've been wanting to know. Gauge their level of interest of willing to talk to you about something. Gauge their level of interest in that particular subject, and then gauge how experienced they are by the answers they give you. All right, so number three is very important. They must be like you. If you're finding a mentor, they have to be like you or who you want to be. Personality wise, same values, things like that, or who you want to be. Because you're gonna build a friendship. A mentor isn't just like a teacher and a student. Like it is that, but it's also a friendship. You want to form a friendship. People only do business with people they like, trust, and want to do business with. Same thing with your mentor. Similar interests, similar values, similar goals in life. I remember one time I was on the hunt for a mentor. I was thirsty. I was thirsty for a mentor. I was willing to let anybody teach me anything because I was in that mindset of I'm always willing to learn, always asking questions. And there was a few guys I was giving them the shot to mentor me, to teach me things. But when I looked at what they pulled up in, and when I looked at how they dressed, and I looked at how they talked to other potential customers and potential clients, I was just like, that's not who I want to be like. Because you are the sum total of the 5 people you hang around with the most, and your mentor is going to be one of those. So make sure that when you're looking for a mentor, you see certain qualities in them that are honorable to you, certain qualities and personality traits that you like about them, or something that you want to see in yourself. Like, so the mentor that I have right now, that I talk to the most, he's where I want to be at in 5 years. He has a $1 million business, has done all the things that I wanted to do. He's closed over 100 wholesale deals. He's been doing this for so long. He knows the in and outs of the specific things, like my niche of what I do in real estate. So it's easy to talk to him because he talks like me. His slang, his mannerisms, the way he talks and articulates his sentences, that it all sounds like me. We talk the same. And so it's easy for me to relate to him. And it's also easy, this is key, it's easy when he's trying to explain to me something that I don't know, he says it in a language that I understand. That's really big, because some of my mentors that I've had in the past, and actually one of the other ones, sometimes they explain things to me in a way that I don't get, or I don't like the way they talk, or I just don't relate to the way they talk. It's like, you didn't have to say it like that. Why'd you say it like you did all that other, and like, you want somebody who talks like you, who talks who you want to how you want to talk, everything. They just have to be like you, relatable to you. Not only then is it like easy for y'all to form a friendship, but it's easy to communicate. It's easy to understand each other when you talk to each other. Like, sometimes I'll be talking and then I'll move on to another subject or something. For some people, they're like, whoa, you can't just, what was you saying back there? But when I talk to him, we kind of understand each other. We know what we're saying. We know what each other is saying. So it's very important to get somebody who is like you, personality-wise, moral value-wise, but also someone who you just find it easy to talk to, like a friend. That's what you really want to look for. All right, so number 4, teach for free. When you're finding a mentor, you want a real mentor, a lifelong mentor, Or maybe it's just for a season, whatever, or at least for a few years, whatever. You want someone to show you the ropes and like show you every detail of how to do something and how to get to that next level. And I'm telling you, you could buy that, you know, for a few $1,000s, you could buy that. But the best mentors, who's a friend and who will teach you for a lifetime and will give you all of the secrets for free because they want you to. They want you to know everything that they know. Those mentors are for free. Always working, but you're always asking questions. And when you ask questions, you're gauging how interested are they in teaching me something? How excited are they about the subject? You always want to gauge this stuff out. You want to find the mentor that is willing to teach you. You gauge that, how willing they are to teach by the questions you ask and the types of questions they ask and how they answer those questions. Real mentors, they're going to teach you for free. If you're looking for a mentor and they ask for money somewhere along the line, for them to do something for you, I would stay away from that. I would honestly stay away from that. If they ask you for money, unless they have like a coaching program that they direct you to with a website, if they start asking for money for them to do something or anything, like I would completely stay away from that. Real mentors are gonna show you every little nick and cranny of everything they know for free because they enjoy teaching. Number 5. Only a few levels ahead of you. So when you're looking for a mentor, you don't want to have someone that's on the same level as you. That's not a mentor. That's like a friend. Who sometimes that's okay, just dependent. Like if they're on the same level as you, as long as they're heading in the same trajectory and you see them grinding hard, I would make friends with. But that's not a mentor. You want to have someone who is a few steps ahead of you. Not a hell of a lot. Like you don't want somebody who has like $100 million business and you're just starting out. That's not gonna be a real mentor. You're gonna be a waste of his time, and the stuff that he says to you is not gonna be relevant to you. It's not applicable things. Like he can't teach you step by step how to go from where you're at to where he's at. So you want to find someone who is a few steps ahead of you. My mentor, he's a few steps ahead of me, a few levels ahead of me. He's not, you know, a billionaire yet, but also at the same time, he's not too close to where I'm at. Like he's not, you know, he's not only doing, you know, $5,000 a month or something, which is good for a lot of people, but I'm just saying like he's past that. If you're not making $10,000 a month, for me personally, I don't want you mentoring me. I'll ask you questions though, and we could be friends, and I'll hit you up, and I'll still be willing to learn from you. I could always learn from you, but like mentorship wise, like you have to at least be making $10,000 a month from wholesaling real estate, from real estate in general, for me to like really consider you like, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. You know what I mean? So you want somebody who's a few steps ahead of you, but not too far ahead of you to where they can't relate, and not too close to where you're at to where they're not really teaching you anything. All right, and the last one is always offer value. This is big. The reason I have the mentors that I have is because I was always able to offer them value at first. Like during our first few interactions, I was always offering value, free value, especially when you see that they're a few levels ahead of you. You see like, yeah, like teaching you will give them a dopamine hit and it'll give them like, it'll stroke their ego. But at the same time, they're exerting energy and they're like, all right, well, what am I doing this for? Are you wasting my time? They love to give like tips away to people who they know are using the tips, like applying the tips, applying the knowledge that they give them. So like if somebody tells me something and I call them back a week later, I'm like, hey man, I did this, and this is what happened. Like, what do I do now? That will give them a like insane, like, oh, okay, like this dude's actually listening to me and he's actually doing it. Okay, now I can take you to step 2. So always apply what they tell you, but offer value. So the way I met my mentors, right? I was cutting grass. I offered to cut him grass. And then when we were talking about real estate, I offered to give him a deal. I offered to show him the deal before I show anybody else the deal. I'll give you the inside scoop on all the deals I get. That's how I kind of like presented myself to all my mentors. I was always like, hey, I'm a wholesaler, you know, I could give you the scoop on the deals that I get before I market them out to my other buyers if you're willing to take a look. Is that something you would want to do? You know, something like that. I'm offering free value. I'll give you the first look. You know, obviously I'm sending it to like whoever I can, but like that's how I'm presenting it. Like I'll give you the first look on all the deals that I get under contract. Or you bring them deals, you know, when you first meet them. That's why you should always be working. Like you have a few deals like under contract right now. When you do come up, well, do come across somebody for whatever that business doesn't work out, you'd be like, hey, well, I got this deal. You want to take a look at it? You just offer them value. Like, and I would present it in the same way. Like, hey, I got this deal under contract, or hey, I'm about to get this deal under contract. I haven't really showed anybody. What do you think about this? You know, you're stroking their ego, you know, asking them what they think, but at the same time, you're also like offering value, like, hey, nobody else has seen this deal. I think it's hot. You know, you could have it first. You can have dibs on it, you know, if you want. Just tell me what you think about it. Something like that. Do something for free, bro. Like, do something for free. Like, if they say that they have trouble with something, be like, okay, I'll check that out for you. You know, if they say something, they need help running a comp, or they need help getting in touch with a certain real estate agent. If you gauge out their interests, and they seem like somebody you want to be like, do them that favor. Be like, oh, I'll check it out for you, and actually get back to them within a timely manner, a day, 2 days, or a week, with that, hey, I checked this out for you, like, and they said this, this, and this. Or I called that person for you. They said that I ran that comp, and I got a few comps right here. Here, I just sent it to your email. Tell me what you think about that. If you do that, I promise you, you will get a mentor, a good mentor. You want to find one that you want to gauge how willing they are to teach you and work with you for free. You know, you do that by asking questions, always willing to learn. Show them that you're willing to learn. Learn to shut up whenever they're talking or whatever. That way, also, when you shut up and you listen to them, you get to gauge, like, okay, does this person sound like somebody I want to be like in the next 5 to 10 years? Does this person sound like the type of person I would want to be like? Things like that. Does this person sound interested? Does this person seem obsessed with my specific niche of business? You want to gauge all that, but always offer value to them, and I promise you, they're going to be wanting to teach you everything. My mentors are geeked whenever I call them and ask them questions, and they always want to teach me because they know I'm going to apply the knowledge that they give me. They know that I'm going to bring them value. I'm always going to bring them deals, and I'm always willing to just learn. I'm always willing to hear them out and not interrupt. That's what I got for finding a mentor, bro. Apply these. I promise you, you will find a mentor, and a good mentor, bro. Like, these tips, these are real life tips. I have 3 mentors that I have not paid a dime, and they have all bought deals from me. Just apply this knowledge. Use it to your advantage, bro. Stay working consistently. Stay focused. This is my setup. This is my room. I never filmed in here, but I feel like this looks like a nice setup. This is how I'm about to film the rest of my videos. Stay focused. Stay consistent. Stay motivated.